Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Batman Superman World's Finest issue 31 by Mark Waid, Adrian Gutierrez, and Tamara Bonvillain. The World's Finest face an age-old foe this issue as the Justice League gather on their satellite to witness an oncoming eclipse with front row seats. The banter that Mark Waid provides right off the bat, especially between Green Arrow and Superman, is just fantastic, and I adore just how workplace casual it is. It's just a few friends joking with each other around the water cooler, but the jokes soon come to an end though when Green Lantern, Black Canary, and Green Arrow are suddenly possessed by ECLIPSO, prompting them to attack the team. The book returns one day prior where down on Earth, Solar City, a new clean energy metropolis, is having its final touches put on by the Justice League, who along with Wayne Enterprises, Cord Industries, and Queen Industries built the city to help usher the world into a new age of clean energy. Waid sets the premise up for the city really well, explaining what it is in real simple terms that really anyone could understand, and also tapping into the wealth of DC characters, specifically DC scientist characters, to fill out the ranks of those building the city. Case in point, Dr. Bruce Gordon, the original ECLIPSO, is also overseeing the project with his wife Dr. Mona Bennett, who are working hard to bring the city online while the Justice League take down any and all villains who are trying to sneak into the city to pillage it of its expensive and most sought after materials that they are using to construct it. Batman and Robin are two such heroes who are out on patrol, and while rounding up some villains, Robin keeps asking Batman about ECLIPSO, knowing full well that Bruce Gordon was once possessed by the spirit of wrath. And this part in the book is really done just to kind of catch people who are unfamiliar with the villain up with what it is and explain a little bit what the spirit of wrath, what ECLIPSO is, and how Dr. Gordon factors into it, and how he's no longer possessed, and the spirit is sealed away in a black diamond on the Justice League satellite. Now, just because he's free from ECLIPSO doesn't mean that Bruce Gordon is free from acting the fool, as the man is revealed to be a bit of a perfectionist. Angered, the city is only running at 92% efficiency only 7 hours after opening. Bruce is intent on making a Prometheum power cell to help with his project, knowing full well that that will get him over the 100% mark. But his wife reminds him that that's all theoretical and they can't actually crack the code on the power cell. But Bruce won't listen, and after rummaging through some of Dr. Light's gear that the League have gave him for the project, he suddenly discovers a Prometheum power cell, although it doesn't actually exist and it's just ECLIPSO messing with his mind, as somehow the ECLIPSO diamond has found its way back to Bruce and it causes a huge explosion, possessing Bruce yet again and seemingly killing Mona before freeing ECLIPSO from the diamond fully in the Justice League watchtower. Now, I really like that there appears to be no fat on this story whatsoever, and it's all just straight to the point setup of ECLIPSO's return, and once the villain makes his return here, we head back to the present, where Batman arrives at the satellite to find ECLIPSO affecting the heroes and attacking Superman, Flash, Red Tornado, and Elongated Man. The battle setup is really well done and is completely chaotic thanks to the possessed heroes doing anything to take down the others and vice versa, and doing it in some really creative ways, like the possessed Atom crawling into the Flash's ear and throwing off his balance so he can't run properly. Artist Adrian Gutierrez has tagged in for Dan Mora for this story, and his work matches Waid's chaos really well. There's great use of negative spaces and silhouettes throughout the issue, which is fitting given that it's ECLIPSO who's the villain. The book is centered around the sun and eclipses and solar stuff, so it would make sense that we would get stuff where there's like just shadows and just silhouettes, and it looks really fantastic. I love the look of the eclipse at the beginning of the issue that the Justice League are looking at. Is very grand in scale, very cinematic. And then the action he provides later on where Green Arrow fires a kryptonite arrow at Superman is just brilliant, again done in silhouette. Batman soon joins the fight with Superman, and Superman is hit with the kryptonite arrow, as I said before, as Red Tornado gets searching for ECLIPSO deeper in the station, finding the villain, who reveals that the Black Diamond actually has a twin, the Gold Diamond, which is what Bruce found in Dr. Light's gear and thought was the Prometheum power cell, and that allowed ECLIPSO to take possession of him again. Red Tornado isn't scared of the villain since his powers won't work on the robot and he can't actually be possessed, but ECLIPSO never intended intended on possessing Tornado. Instead, he just rips out his artificial heart, wounding the robot greatly, who can still function without the heart. While Batman and Superman deal with the possessed Green Lantern, Dr. Gordon builds a cannon down in Solar City, activating it and pointing it right at the Justice League watchtower. As Red Tornado crawls into a teleporter and the world's finest confront ECLIPSO finally, Gordon fires the laser and destroys the station, with the Justice League and ECLIPSO still on board. Knowing Wade has a Justice League series coming out very soon, as well as a story in this very book which will talk about the formation of said league, I quite enjoy that he's priming the pumps here with a lot of Justice League stuff. You know, we're getting the Watchtower, we're getting, you know, this interesting team makeup with Elongated Man and Red Tornado and Green Arrow, all these really interesting characters. And I like that he's just giving us this little bit of a taste of what's to come in his Justice League Unlimited book. And it's really cool seeing him write these characters and write this team that he hasn't written for a very long time as like a main focus of a book. He's done the Justice League before, but they've always been like, you know, the background characters. Like in Absolute Power, they're not really the Justice League. They're just like this group of characters who might be together. They're not the full Justice League like they are here. As I said before, I really love the casual dynamic of the team as well. They're just, you know, always looking out for each other, but they're having a joke with each other. I love the stuff at the start, which is a reference to Justice League International, where Batman punches out Guy Gardner, but it's with Superman dealing with a villain with one punch. I think that's really fun, and Green Arrow can't really believe it that he was able to deal with this villain that people like Hal Jordan and Green Lanterns couldn't deal with properly. He just dealt with him in one punch. It's very funny stuff. Now, despite the station going up in a bright fireball in the sky, Red Tornado managed to teleport away just in time to Civic City and onto the steps of a nondescript brownstone, whose inhabitants help him inside. Tornado warns them that they need to help the Justice League, and it's revealed that this brownstone actually belongs to the Justice Society of America, who assemble to help their younger counterparts. World's Finest issue 31 was yet another fun, action-packed adventure from Mark Waid and his art team. I love how fresh and exciting each new story arc is, and who Waid decides to include in the story outside of Batman and Superman is always fun, and it's always really off-the-wall characters like Elongated Man and Red Tornado. It's not your usual suspects. I'm really looking forward to the JSA making an appearance next issue and what ECLIPSO's plan is this time round for the heroes. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.